All right, Sunday recap on a Tuesday morning. It's Wildcard weekend time. Kevin Bunk, Michael Merlo with you as always. We have a lot of stuff planned today. We're going to go through every game from Wildcard weekend, talk about the storylines. We're also going to talk some coaching carousel news, a lot of John Harbaugh stuff, but we're going to hit on 3 Who'd You Rathers at the end of this show: Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and John Harbaugh himself. But we're going to start with these playoff games. Mike, last night, maybe the worst way for Aaron Rodgers to possibly go out in a playoff game, if that's his final one. We both love the Texans. We're both high on the Texans. They show you why they can go and win a Super Bowl in last night's game.
That defense is unbelievable. It's been unbelievable for, 3 months now? They're fast. If I am a team, especially like the Patriots, that has to go play that team now, even though you have the game at home, I don't feel good. I don't feel good about that team. I don't feel good about playing that defense. That game was awful. I had anxiety watching that game with how bad the Texans destroyed that Steeler offense. It was just a brutal watch. One of the worst games I've watched in a very long time from start to finish. A complete waste of time watching that Steeler team.
Yeah. I think DeMeco Ryans is going to come up a handful of times today in this episode. Okay. But first of all, he doesn't call the plays defensively. So got to give credit to the defensive coordinator, whose name I'm forgetting, of course, but I had
Burke. I think Matt Burke.
Yeah, Matt Burke.
Yeah.
Who is getting no head coaching interviews by some weird miracle for Houston. But this is the top defenses by EPA in the playoffs the last decade on a single game basis. The best one was the Texans last night. They generated the Steelers offense a minus 33.4 EPA. The next best is the Texans last year against the Chargers, minus 31.4 EPA. The next best is the Rams in 2024 Wildcard versus Minnesota, minus 29 EPA. And the best before that is the Texans in 2023 versus the Browns, minus 28.5 EPA. So 3 of the 4 best defensive performances in the playoffs of the last decade are in the last 3 years by the Texans.
That's incredible. And I had seen somebody last night say that, the Texans might have the best unit in the entire sport right now. Just like offense, defense, special teams, like their defense might be the best unit out of anybody right now left in the postseason. And I'm starting to think about it last night. I can't think of an offense or defense better than that Texan defense.
No, there's not one. That is by far the best unit. And there's a few defenses that are right there. Seattle's defense is right there. Denver's defense is right there. So there are some groups that are almost as good. But the speed that they play at is just ridiculous. The edge rushers, you send 4 with Anderson and Hunter on the field, and you're getting there in 2.5 seconds.
It was incredible. Rodgers couldn't do anything last night. They had no run game. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal to watch. And now you bring up DeMeco Ryans, how great he's been, no doubt, to turn this season around and turn this team around. It's been incredible. Now, let's ask the awkward question. What do you do if you're Mike Tomlin? I'm not even going to say, what do the Steelers do? I'm going to say, what do you do if you're Mike Tomlin?
I would stick around and stay, but it's weird because they definitely want Rodgers back next year. And if he's not coming back, you're entering into another one of those probably like Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky kind of years where maybe they draft Ty Simpson, maybe they go get Kyler Murray, or if Kirk Cousins gets released, those are your options at quarterback. So does Tomlin want to do that again? Because we all rip Tomlin, but I can't sit here and say Omar Khan's done this sensational job building the team. They have a really good defense. A lot of that has to do with Tomlin. Their offensive line is pretty good this year, surprised me. But the weapons on offense and the playmakers in the secondary on defense have just not been there.
No, it's not a great roster overall. In fact, we've talked about it a bunch of times how they have, I think, the most expensive defense in the league, one of the 3 most expensive defenses in the entire sport. And, they're barely a top 10 defense. It's a good defense, but it's not this great defense. So I would agree. I think if I was the Steelers, it's no question I want Mike Tomlin to come back as my head coach, regardless of the 10-7 and the 6 straight or 7 straight playoff losses. But if I'm Mike Tomlin, I also understand that if you want to go take a TV job for a year, make $8 million a year, and then come back in a year or 2 and start fresh somewhere else, I would also completely understand that. And if I was the Steelers, that would be my option to say, okay, we're completely starting fresh. We're going through a massive rebuild, kind of like how the Patriots had to do, after those Mac Jones years, or during those Mac Jones years, I should say.
It wouldn't be a bad idea for Tomlin to sit this year, try to get any of these offensive minds who will get fired, whether it was this past week or next season, try to get any of them to come be your coordinator, because I like Arthur Smith. I actually really do. And I think he's way overhated. I think he's one of the league average play callers, which is good. Like, he's probably the 14th or 15th best play caller in the league. He did some nice things with the Steelers offense this year. Not a lot of talent there to win that game in Baltimore the way they did, or against Baltimore in week 18. I think he played a big role in that. But you should be going out, if you're Mike Tomlin, trying to get a Mike McDaniel, using the Steelers organization, using your pedigree to try and get one of these elite play callers, because they've clearly lacked it in his time. Even with Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, Todd Haley was the OC, very good OC, but kind of from that Arthur Smith mold, former head coach who's a good play caller, and you kind of just get along with him. He's a good, like, CEO type of guy as an offensive coach, but he's got to get a real play caller in here.
100%. And does he call the defensive plays or no?
I think he does, yeah.
He does. Okay. It's, yeah. And you brought up a great point a few weeks ago, how he doesn't have a coaching tree, which also really shocks me and makes me wonder, like, not how great he is, but how easy is he to work with?
Yeah, Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator, calls most of the defense, but Tomlin frequently steps in and is heavily involved in everything.
Okay.
So probably Tomlin's like the 2-minute play caller and whatever. But yeah,
they couldn't do anything last night. I mean, they couldn't stop the run. CJ had a couple of big plays. Christian Kirk killed them, and they couldn't run the football to save their lives, and obviously couldn't throw the ball with that pass rush.
The most concerning thing is that they couldn't stop the run.
No, they couldn't. Woody Marks just gashed. I mean, even Chubb gashed him a little bit.
Yep. That should not have happened, because what did I say and what did we all agree with last week? If you're going to pick the Texans to go to the Super Bowl, don't be surprised if their running game in line does not hold up at all. And last night, it held up great. And I hate to be this guy. I'm going to give more credit for the reason it held up to the Steelers in a negative way that I'm going to give to the Texans for, they pulled it together in the wild card round. No, they didn't.
Yeah, if they do it this week, then you have something to say. But although I don't love that New England defense, so I also think that Houston will be able to score some points this week. But that's a discussion for another day.
I mean, Stroud had a terrible game and they scored 30. Stroud looked awful last night.
Did he fumble 5 times?
He fumbled.
Lost 3 of them.
Yeah, he fumbled at least 3 times. I remember the 3 they lost. They had the interception, but he was awful. I mean, I'm sitting there in the first half and in the third quarter saying they're giving Pittsburgh the game. If Tomlin's ever going to get a playoff win, this is it. And 7-6 turns to 36 in maybe a blink of an eye. I felt like I just looked down and come back into the room and, oh man, it's 30-6 now. Rodgers just threw 11 pick sixes. And you're like, what is going on in this game? But the Steelers defensive front, back to this point, it's really good. I mean, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Derek Harmon had a really nice rookie year. The fact that they could not generate pressure and the fact that they couldn't stop the run here is terrible. But that's a better defensive front than you're going to see in New England.
Yeah, Highsmith, Sawyer's been good for them. It is a good front. 100% going to be better than what you see in New England. So I'm confident in this Houston team. I have been for a few weeks now, but really going into this New England game, I feel very good about this Houston team.
Yeah, and they have to feel great because getting Pittsburgh in round 1, I think, was a blessing for them because you get that 20-degree outdoor game and then you get the win under your belt. You played your worst offensive game possible with at least Stroud in the passing game, and you still end up having a dominant win. So get that monkey off your back, go into New England next week where the weather's probably going to be the same, and play a team that I don't think is far superior to Pittsburgh. Like, I think out of the 4 AFC teams, New England's the worst left.
Yes, and I think no matter who you're playing, with the way this team has been playing defensively, there's really nobody you're scared of. There's really nobody you're saying, I don't really want to see this team, because they dominated Buffalo in Houston, a couple of months ago. Denver, you really that scared of Denver? And obviously this New England team, you're going to New England this week. I feel good about them. I'm assuming Houston feels great about their chances as well.
Well, if you're Denver and you're doing the look ahead also, which you can't do against the Bills, but if you're doing the look ahead to the championship, the AFC championship game, you want New England to win.
You need New England to win.
You're getting home field no matter what. And the only team that can play that muddy defensive field goal game with you is Houston.
100%. Oh, 100%. And I would pick Houston. I think I'd pick Houston in the game because their defense is better.
I think I would too. It would be a really good game. That would be a fun AFC title matchup with those two teams. But anything else on this game? I'm going through the box score now to see if I forgot anything. But
I don't think you forgot anything. This was brutal.
Good one. We'll circle back to D'Amico Ryans throughout the episode here. Next game, we got to hit that Sunday Night Football game. A lot of Justin Herbert talk today on the show, but Sunday Night Football, ugliest game of the weekend with the Patriots beating the Chargers. Just no movement offensively, no scoring at all in this game. You knew New England was going to win almost the entire time, and it's a bad loss for the Chargers. It's a bad loss for Jim Harbaugh, who's got a lot of questions this week, and Justin Herbert is not doing himself any favors.
Yeah, this was a brutal game as well. I was on the way home and I had the game on my phone, and it was one of those, when you're watching a game on the phone, like you got to commit to watching that football game.
Yep.
And I knew we were doing this today, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stick with it for as long as possible. Don't swipe off of it. I had to stick with it for at least 3 quarters. Bad decision because didn't have to watch it. Herbert was bad. I've seen this stat go around. I don't know if you're the one that sent it to me or I just saw it on Twitter. Greg Roman, 1-5 with Lamar and Herbert in the postseason now. I mean, this, like you talk about Harbaugh answering questions. He has to answer questions about his team's play, but he also has to answer questions about, I think, his good friend, Greg Roman, who's the offensive play caller over there.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? We talk about all these high-level offensive coordinator minds available, Mike McDaniel, Brian Dable, so many other guys I'm just not having come to mind right now, but they wouldn't be the top of the line of places for them to go. Because first of all, you can't rule out that a couple of them say, you know what, I just was a head coach. I really don't want to be a coordinator this year. I'm just going to take a year and do nothing. And maybe we get back into it next year. Still getting paid by the team that fired me. You can't rule that out. I'd rather go coach in Philadelphia than the Chargers.
Yep.
If I was an offensive coordinator. So if that opens, all of a sudden, Greg Roman is one of the better names that would be available if he got fired. Not saying that's a reason to not do it, because I don't think it's a fit with Herbert. But it's an interesting conversation for Harbaugh.
Yeah, I don't know if his style was a fit with the way the season went. When you lose, your first round back and you lose your 2 cornerstone tackles, he's run heavy. They didn't have the offensive line to do it this year. They didn't have the offensive line to push the ball down your throat and say, we're going to beat you here, and then we're going to beat you with play action and putting the ball down the field with Herbert. They couldn't do that at all when those tackles went down. So I would get rid of them, but you make a good point. I think McDaniel, if he's going to take an OC job, he's going to go to Detroit. And then you have to see where Dable and the rest go.
I agree with JM here. They got to get this roster right because it's not good enough. The offensive line was so bad this year. I know that there's injuries along it, but starters on the interior of the line were terrible. Bozeman and Becton are free agents that Ortiz brought in here to play those positions, and they're so bad. And then the receiver group is concerning. Ladd McConkey's 2025 season is very worrisome because he went from basically having 100 catches to 100 targets on a year-to-year basis. It's not exactly that number, but that's kind of what happened for Ladd. Keenan Allen got way more targets. He's not good anymore. I'd be surprised if he played next year because he always said he only plays for the Bears or the Chargers. He won't play anywhere else. Well, I don't think the Bears or the Chargers are bringing him back next year. So we'll see if he sticks around. But it's just, I'm just like out on their whole receiver room. You draft Trey Harris, he makes almost no impact as a rookie. And Quentin Johnston had the first 2 months of the year where you thought finally living up to his first round billing, he's getting some good coaching here. And then he disappeared.
Yeah, they need a one. They need a one in here, and I think it fixes a lot of issues. It fixes your Ladd issue, may even fix your Johnston issue. They need a guy, an alpha. Does A.J. Brown become available, and do you make that move? Do you want to deal with that headache? We mentioned T. Higgins the other night. Those all make sense. You need an alpha in this room. You need a guy that Herbert could just look to and say, yeah, he's getting the ball here, and that's it. You have your running back coming back next year on his second year, and you've got the tackles.
Yeah, the Chargers have a lot of work to do. On the other side for New England, I mean, good job getting your first playoff win. You cannot lose this game. You got the 2-7 matchup, and you by far got the worst team in the AFC playoff picture, maybe the worst team in the entire postseason. So it's a good, besides the Panthers, but they're a division winner, but the worst wildcard team. So good on New England for coming out, controlling this game. You didn't even get much from May. I didn't even think he looked good. Will Campbell's getting dominated. I got to talk about that. And their offensive line didn't look good at all, but you end up scraping out a win. Vrabel takes the points all afternoon or all night. Good job, Mike Vrabel. Great coach. Talk about him later in Harbaugh. Who'd you rather? And the Patriots get their first win of the post-Brady era in the playoffs, and they could go. I mean, I called them the worst team before, but there's an obvious path to them winning the AFC.
Yeah. Harbaugh doesn't take the points early as well, and you made a video about that yesterday discussing coaches not taking points. Harbaugh let a couple of points sit out there early in that game. Just probably thought he needed the touchdowns to win. He didn't. He needed the field goals would have done just right in those spots and gave you a better chance at least. Ugly game. Ugly game. Herbert getting ripped, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it's bad with Herbert. And I'm watching the game on Sunday night, and I've been saying, while I'm watching it, you can't really blame him too much. The pressures are insane. He's getting rushed like crazy. The second he drops back, it's just a mirage in his face. And that didn't seem to be the truth. When you get the Twitter film nerds the next day, which, not insulting them, they do a great job, coming out saying this is one of the worst Justin Herbert games we've ever seen, posting all these clips of wide open guys downfield, and he's just panicking, tucking, and running. It looks like a bad Herbert game now on Tuesday morning, where I was one of the people trying to defend him on Sunday night. I think Herbert's a really good quarterback. I don't like to get into the whole Herbert sucks thing, but he might not be a guy you can win a Super Bowl with.
I've always been a Herbert defender. I've always been known for that, but it's getting tough, even with the injuries that they've had, even with the roster probably not being where it should be for a Super Bowl caliber team. It's getting tough to defend him. You see how bad he played, especially on the film on Sunday night. It's getting tough. It is. He is becoming that what-if man. He really is.
In 3 career playoff games, 2 touchdowns, 7 turnovers, minus 36 point differential. Hasn't won a game yet. And he hasn't been good in any of them.
No, it's not like you could point to a game where you said, well, he did everything he could to win this one.
Like Jacksonville wasn't even that comeback. It wasn't like he did everything in his power to stave off the Jaguars. He went ice cold in the second half.
It's not good. It's not good for the Herbert guys. I might be out. I might have to be out.
Yeah, we got Herbert who'd you rather later on, so we'll figure out where we really rank him in the scheme of NFL quarterbacks. Nothing else on this game for me. We'll talk more throughout the episode, of course, about it, and we'll do a little division round look ahead if we're not already. But the game before this, Philly versus San Fran. Philly does not come out and do what we thought they were going to do. We both had them in this game. I really liked them. I did not think San Francisco had much left in the tank, but they did play for a 1 seed the week before, and now they get to go try to right that wrong against Seattle. Great win for the Niners.
It's an unbelievable win. I thought because they kind of got exposed by that Seattle team. You know, this team is so banged up. We know that. And that Seattle team, that defense, I thought Philly's defense was not on the same level, but very close to the skill level of the Seattle team. I thought that they were just going to roll this San Francisco team was banged up, and they did not do that. They lose Kittle, and still Shanahan's able to find a way. That's what he's done all season long. I think out of all of his seasons in San Francisco, this is one of, if not the most impressive year he's had with San Francisco with how much they have lost, especially Kittle early in this game in Philadelphia.
Man, Purdy, the 2 turnovers, the second interception, I'm thinking they're going to lose this game. And he had a real middle portion of that game where I did not think he looked good. And then they end up winning. They get it done. Juwan Jennings throws a touchdown, a play that they ran a decade ago almost. Yep. And Shanahan pulls it back out of the bag. Couldn't run the ball. They can't run the ball at all.
No.
San Francisco. And you're not going to get an easier front. I mean, Philadelphia's front is as good as it gets. So is Seattle's front 7, and then their safeties too. I mean, they are one of the best run-stopping defenses in the league. And then if you go to the NFC Championship game, you're going to get the Rams or the Bears defense. I mean, it's not going to get easier. So they're not going to be able to run the ball probably this whole playoff.
But like, as good as this season's been, as impressive as as Shanahan's been for them, like, it's done here now. Like, it's been a nice run.
I think so.
There's no way they go into Seattle and win this game.
They could.
Purdy's never lost in Seattle.
They could win a third. They could win the third matchup they play with this team. They laid maybe the worst egg of the season in Week 18. Beat them Week 1 before Seattle was really the team that ended up getting the 1 seed. It was their first game with Darnold. But I'm not going to rule out Shanahan and Purdy to win this game. I would pick Seattle, and I will pick Seattle later in the week. But I can't rule them out. I don't think this is the most lopsided game of the second round.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
If this, you gotta really dig deep here. If McCaffrey was just a wide receiver, where would he rank? Like, he's just a wide receiver. Where would he rank?
I don't know. Probably not as high as you'd think.
Because of his size? Because of his size?
Because of his size. And I can't imagine him being an effective outside wide receiver ever. You're just running him out of the slot all game. And I don't know. I think a lot of his value comes from giving him the ball in the backfield.
He's incredible
in the passing game. He's great.
He caught that pass. Was it a touchdown? I'm blanking on what it was right now. It was inside the red zone, and he just kind of like goes up. It was early in the game. It was the first drive. It wasn't the touchdown. It was right before the Demarcus Robinson touchdown. And he just goes up and gets it. And you're like, how is he doing this? How is he doing that? He went all the way up.
Yeah.
And then brought it down.
That tip pass.
The ball got tipped. The ball got tipped at the line, and it kind of just floated up.
I think the 4 best offensive weapons in the playoffs are all in the NFC. I think it would be McCaffrey, JSN, Nakua, and then Loveland. How would you rank those 4?
You love Loveland, man.
Dude, he's been great.
You've been on it.
I think his last 4 weeks, the least amount of targets he's had is 12.
I was watching that game on Saturday night, thinking of you with the Loveland stuff. I would go Loveland 4, JSN 3, McCaffrey 2, Nakua 1.
Nakua 1. That's the real debate, is 1 or 2.
Yeah.
In that McCaffrey and then Loveland's obviously a 4, as much as I love him. JSN, not better than Nakua. I don't think.
No.
So the real debate's McCaffrey versus Nakua there.
We could talk about Puka when we get to them. It's just like I was thinking about it before I went to bed last night. There's not a play he doesn't make.
He's ridiculous. But McCaffrey too. Great win for San Francisco. Philadelphia, Patullo getting fired today, tomorrow?
I don't know, because I've seen some of the film nerds as well talk about Philly and say he actually didn't call that bad of a game. Like, guys were open. Yeah. You know, there were drops. Hurts wasn't getting him the ball. He had no time. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch that game in real time and believe that he called a good game. Maybe it was just Hurts checking it down way too much. But I'm out on a lot in Philadelphia right now because that was ugly, and they're a tough watch. You know, it's regardless of me hating the city and the team. Like, just getting that team out of the postseason and not having to watch them anymore with how boring they play is a win for everybody.
This is maybe Monday morning quarterback stuff. But first of all, Saquon looked like he took the year off.
Yeah.
He looked like after last, and I'm not saying, he packed it in this year, but looked like last year he got over 400 touches. He broke the full season playoffs included record and won the Super Bowl. And it just looked like he didn't come back this year with the ability to be nearly the same guy. In this game, Tank Bigsby had to get more touches because Saquon he goes 26 for 100. You never generate a real running game. And Bigsby gets 4 touches for 20 yards. And it just felt like they could have gotten a little bit of a spark if you just changed the running back, because Saquon is Saquon Barkley. I get it. Hall of Fame track running back, almost won the MVP last year, won you the Super Bowl last year. He was not that guy this year. He was clearly a step slower. So I think that this game, Patullo and Sirianni had to try to switch up the personnel in the backfield a little bit. Maybe give Bigsby 9 or 10 touches and just see how it goes. Because you didn't have anything with Barkley.
No, you didn't. I mean, there were a couple of runs he broke off where you're like, all right.
He had the 30-yard run.
But then there's I usually, you saw this with the Giants because their offensive line was terrible, but the amount of, negative plays that you saw from Barkley was concerning. And that's where I probably would have went to Bigsby. But the offensive line, no Lane Johnson on Sunday. We've talked about it all year long, how banged up and just how much older they've looked this season. Like, I think it's also partly that, as much as I don't want to defend Saquon Barkley here,
I think it's not to cut you off, sorry, but I think it's fair to say that Lane Johnson's probably one of the 10 most valuable players in the NFL to his team. Yeah. Because when he did not play this year, that offense went from at least serviceable, but still a rough watch, no doubt about it. But they turned into a completely dead offense without him this season. They couldn't do anything without him.
No, they couldn't. And, again, he's been a guy that, especially, you go back like 8 or 9 years ago, he was somebody who was always banged up. And then he had that, since they've really started winning the last few years, he's been like this pillar of health, just playing through everything. Not missing games, and now this season, it came back again. So it's been interesting with Lane Johnson. He is an important piece to that team, but like Juergens wasn't great this year, and Dickerson was banged up as well at times, and he wasn't great either. So they had a couple of other guys that were banged up and also didn't play well. So I don't want to put it all on Lane.
No, definitely not. Let's move Jacks versus Buff here down in Duval. Bills escape with the win. We said it. It's probably their biggest hurdle to getting to a Super Bowl, even though now on Tuesday I already disagree with that. But still, huge win for Josh Allen. It's the first time he's really beat like a competent quarterback in the playoffs. I mean, did you see the list of quarterbacks he's beaten that went around last week?
I did not.
It's like Phillip Rivers the first year with the Colts, not this past year.
Yeah.
Then Mac Jones, rookie Bo Nix. I think he beat Lamar once. I don't even think he did. I don't know if have they played?
They did. Yeah, they did.
He did beat Lamar once, right? But he hasn't beat Burrow. He hasn't beat Mahomes. And it was just a brutal list of quarterbacks that he's beaten. I think there was one other in there. But Trevor Lawrence had a great year this year. Plays well enough to win in that game. And they lose by 3 because Liam Cohen didn't take the points in the first half. But tough one for Jaguars. Great season. Bills get the win. They move on. They go to Denver. You were impressed with Buffalo.
I was very impressed with Buffalo. This was, again, I think I had mentioned it. We mentioned it last week that I thought the winner of this game had a real shot at going to the Super Bowl. I thought the winner of this game would go to Denver and win and then get to the AFC Championship game and have, I think a favorable matchup. And I still stand by that. I think Buffalo's going to beat Denver this week, and I think Houston's going to beat New England, sorry. My brain's fried because I was thinking about the seeding. And then I think they'd go back to Houston and pull it out. I feel that good about Buffalo. But it was a great game. I think it was the second best game of the entire weekend, to be completely honest with you. It was that good. And I had no clue that Allen never won a playoff game on the road. That was shocking to me when I first heard it this weekend.
Yep, first road win for Allen. So it's a lot of big benchmarks for Allen in this game to get that win. And now the path looks so much clearer because you take out probably the third best team, I would say, in this bracket. And I think all three of the top three teams were better than Buffalo. Two of them still left in Houston and Denver. And then you feel great, not only about your chances to beat Denver, but you also feel really good about New England's chance to beat Houston, I think. And you would love, if you're Buffalo, you would love to get New England a third time.
Yeah, I would say that they're rooting for that scenario because, again, we saw what Houston was able to do to that Buffalo team in Houston a few weeks back. Like that was ugly. And they could play with anybody. We know that defense could play with anybody. So I would agree. They're probably rooting for New England, although you got to go to New England, and they blew a 21-point lead the last time you played there. And do you think that will happen again? Do you think that they will get out to this big lead? Or do you think they'll play as poorly as they did in that game? That's a tough thing to root for. I in that scenario, I don't think I'm rooting for anybody.
Yeah, and I will just quickly throw in for Denver, because we're not really going to talk about them today at all. But people are way too out on the Broncos. I mean, everybody just thinking Allen's going to go in there and just torch him. I don't think that's sensible at all. They just beat a team in Jacksonville whose secondary, the average NFL fan probably can't even name somebody before the game started that was playing in that secondary yesterday. They have a terrible pass defense in Jacksonville. Run defense is great, but against Denver, in Denver, Brandon Cooks and Shavers and Shakir are going to do nothing. They're going to be complete non-factors.
I saw a funny tweet. Let me see if Twitter's working yet. I saw a really funny tweet directly correlated to that. It was Patrick Surtain is an eraser. He eliminates teams' number one wide receivers weekly. Luckily for Buffalo, Brandon Beane is paying 4D chess, and the Bills don't have a number one wide receiver to eliminate. It is impressive what Allen was able to do once again with that group. Shakir had 12 catches for 82 yards. Cooks 3 for 58. Coleman had a 36-yard catch. Yeah, we're going to Shavers. We're going to both tight ends. Frank Gore Jr. is getting involved. Like the list, Gabe Davis. Like looking at this list of receivers, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting and shocking that Josh Allen is actually able to do this with this team. So you make a good point about the pass defense in Denver. That's never an easy place to play, with the fans, with the altitude. Not going to be easy, but if Allen can will him again, if Allen plays as well as he did in this Jacksonville game, they're going to win.
This is the definite coaching advantage to Denver. This is the first. I would not have gone as far as saying McDermott was definitely worse than Cohen, just because it's year one for Cohen's first playoff game. I actually thought McDermott coached a better game, but this is the first time now in this playoff that McDermott's going to look to the other sideline and say, whatever I'm doing, this guy's probably thinking of something a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
Than what I'm doing.
Love Peyton.
And now for Peyton, I don't think Denver loses this game. I don't think Sean Payton gets back to being a high expectation playoff team for the first time in nearly, 7 or 8 years and loses after having the bye. I do not see Sean Payton losing this game.
It's really just all Josh Allen. Like it's
all Josh Allen.
Not to glaze him. I love him, but
yeah.
If he's Superman, they're going to win this game. And if he's not, that's it. It's really, that simple. I thought he played close to a Superman game as you could get in Jacksonville.
Nope.
How many more times can he do it? Can he do it 3 more times? Can he do it 2 more times? Can he do it 1 more time? Can he do it 0 more times? That's going to be the difference in them winning these games because they need everything from him. He got banged up in the game with the hand, took a couple of big hits, obviously hit off the helmet on the throw there. So how's his hand look? Yeah, there's questions. It's not going to be easy. What did you think of the scheduling here? I actually wanted to talk to you about this. What did you think of the scheduling here that they went with for this weekend?
I thought they aced it.
I think they screwed one thing up.
What?
I don't think that the Rams and the Bears should be playing on Sunday.
Well, I think the problem here is that these outcomes, I agree with you. I would switch those 2 games. Rams, Bears, and Bills. But I'd actually put Texans, Patriots Saturday. But I thought for the way that they had to have these 2 games on the Saturday games had to be on Saturday, the Sunday games had to be on Sunday. I thought they got it right after that. Like the right 4:30 game on Saturday happened because those were the only two options. But I will agree with you that, yeah, they could have. I don't think that the games that are, I don't think they should have been on the days. Like, I think that the Bills should be playing on Sunday.
And the Texans should be playing on Saturday, but they can't be because you can't give them 5 days rest.
Yep. So that's what stinks. And then
Yes.
I do think that I believe the Seahawks and Broncos had to play on Saturday with these outcomes. I'm pretty sure the only way Denver could have avoided, because they're the 1 seeds, I'm pretty sure the only way they could have avoided Saturday was if they played Houston, which could have happened if Jacksonville won.
But like, San Francisco plays a road game out east, got to fly back, and now they got on Sunday, and now they got to play this Saturday game back out west.
Yeah, which
That
screws
sucks.
them, but they, should have got the 1 seed. Had a chance.
Had a chance. Yeah, they obviously have to put this West Coast game at 8. I'm fine with that. Bills, Broncos, that could have been a Sunday night game. It could have also been. It's also fine for CBS. And
it's the game I look forward to the most this week. The games and how much I look forward to them go in order for me. The first game played is the one I look forward to the most. The fourth game played is the one I'm looking forward to the least.
But your Bears, Rams, you're not excited to watch that game?
I'm excited, but it's the least intriguing of the 4 for me.
How?
Because I'd be, you're going to call me crazy. I'd be stunned if the Rams went in there and won. Stunned.
Yeah, I'm calling it crazy.
I'd be floored if the Rams went into Chicago and won that game.
I
do not think the Rams. I don't think the Rams the last month. This is why I didn't pick them. I didn't pick them to get out of the second round. This is why if you look at my bracket, I had the Rams losing to the Bears in round 2. If you go back to last week, so this is not new for me. The Rams the last month have not been impressive.
They haven't been.
The middle of the year, they were the best team in the league.
I think it's a great game. That's why I'm excited to watch it, because I don't think there's an easy winner.
I don't think Stafford and the Rams go into this 15, 18 degree, 30-mile-an-hour wind game on Sunday night and do much.
I saw the weather's going to be bad, like a wind chill, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's going to be an awful, awful weather day. I mean, like way worse than what he had to go through in Philadelphia last year, and it was snowing.
McVay's ready. McVay's ready for this.
I think Johnson's ready too.
He's built for this. It's great.
Now that the Bears got that first one, I don't think that they're getting stopped.
The two boy geniuses.
Maybe the championship. Yeah, I mean, these are the two guys. Who's the younger coach in this? It's got to be Johnson at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. What's McVay, like 41 now? 42?
Yeah, Johnson's 39. McVay's 39. They're the same age. McVay's been coaching for 10 years.
It's incredible. I saw yesterday was the 10-year. 10-year, what was it, 10? You just said?
No, I think he probably got hired. He might have got hired in 2016. That was Goff's rookie year. So he was probably the year after. It's probably been 9 years. Probably 10 years since he was hired. Yeah, 9 seasons coaching them.
Yeah, the anniversary was yesterday. Wow. Schrager put something out.
Go to the comments on that Rams post. We've hired Sean McVay. I feel like I said this to you earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, you got to be effing kidding me. This is a joke. We suck.
And Schrager reposted it, something like that, and was like, be bold. This is one of the greatest hires in recent memory. Like, be bold when you're doing this. That's
why people laugh and like throw the Rooney thing out there when people are interviewing that quarterback coach they have. That
a lot of people.
35-year-old, I don't know how to say his last name, but it's Steelhaas or
Shellhaas or something like that.
Don't laugh at it. Don't scoff at it, because McVay's got great assistants.
No, there's a lot of. I think it's real. A lot of it. I do too.
I think that guy's a head coach within the next 2 cycles. He's a head coach.
Yep, the Raiders interviewed him. There's a couple of other teams interviewing him.
I'd hire him before I hired Mike LaFleur. And Mike LaFleur's the OC there.
Yeah. I would agree with that. We saw it, Mike LaFleur.
I was thinking, too, watching on Saturday, I don't know if McVay sticks around his whole, possible lifespan of coaching, because he could literally coach for 35, 40 years. But the fact that he started so young and he's already at 99 career wins, he could probably, easily smoke the Shula Belichick records
if he wants it.
Yeah,
because there
he's
were
at
those
99
rumors.
right now.
There were those rumors a couple of years ago. Like, I thought he was going to TV.
And he would be great. That's why I think he's going to do it at some point.
Yeah. They'll come back.
Like, he's already a third of the way to Shula. And Shula was the same way. Shula coached for 30 years, 35 years. So, I mean, he was literally 32 seasons with Miami.
But does he get, like, let's say, you know, he's winning and they win this year, whatever. Maybe they lose in the NFC, whatever it is. Go back with Stafford one more year. And he's unable to find his next quarterback in this year's or next year's draft.
Yeah.
Does that push him to TV?
It might. And he might just be like, I've been doing, maybe like he has kids, because he doesn't have kids yet. Maybe he has kids and he's like, I've been doing this for 15 years. I just want to take a year or two, only work on Sunday. Fox will give him like $9 million a year.
Yeah.
To go call those games. It feels pretty easy. And then you go back into coaching after a few years.
With your pick of wherever you want to go.
Like, yeah. Like, oh, I'm getting the itch, man. I'm getting the itch. Let me go coach Mahomes' son.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, he would literally be able to call teams himself.
Yeah.
Teams with coaches.
You think teams want John Harbaugh? Imagine Sean McVay was available.
No, I couldn't.
There's 31 job openings. What?
Yeah. Everybody fires their coach. Let's try to get him.
What's the next game we got to do? Bears, Pack.
Wait, I want to talk about Romo.
Oh, yeah, we got to do Romo for a second.
You
can start it up here.
I mean, anybody could win this game. As if the Jags are this, you know, nobody wild card team he starts it off as.
Yep.
That opening was unbelievably bad, as if he didn't do any prep whatsoever. Then you've got, this was hysterical to me. First, he had a little like post route he threw to Parker Washington, Lawrence did. And the ball kind of looked like it was floated a little bit and not thrown as hard as possible. And it ended up being the right play because Parker kind of stopped and then there was nobody near him. And Romo goes, that's one of the best throws of Trevor Lawrence's career. And then you had the Allen sliding near the first down on third down. And Nance going, I think he gave himself up. That's going to be short because they called it a first down on the field. And Romo goes, no, Jim, I think it's where you get touched, not where you begin the slide. And then Jim immediately throws to Gene. And Gene, who sounds pissed off at this point, goes, now, Jim, it's where he gave himself up. It's where he started to slide. And he's going to be short of the first down pretty clearly here. This should be quick. Instantly short of the first down.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's so terrible. Bad. I've been saying this since his first game. I hated him right off the rip. Thought it was awful. Again, never wrong, just early.
Right. And I didn't hate him. I actually liked him the first couple of years. I thought it was exciting. I thought he was entertaining. I thought I could listen to him. And now it's just brutal. I mean, you know, you could have an obsession with Josh Allen. That's completely fine. Chris Collinsworth has an obsession with Patrick Mahomes. We know this. It's a joke.
And there's guys who, like, you call certain, I don't think most fans even think about this. Romo and Nance call more Bills games than anybody. Yeah. Collinsworth's called more Chiefs games than anybody. Aikman and Buck, when they were on Fox, now it's Burkhardt and Brady call more Cowboys games than anyone. I mean, you do, even though you're not assigned to a team, there's always one or two teams you get like 7 or 8 times every year. And for Romo and Nance, it's the Bills. I mean, they even call Bills-Jets games when the Jets like completely suck.
Yeah. No, but it's, you should know that, like, you should also know the team. You do the game so many times. You should know these things.
Yep.
You know, how many times does Josh Allen go and slide and for near a first down or, you know, for just any spot? Doesn't matter if it's near a first down. Like, it's brutal. It's like he does no prep whatsoever before a game.
Bad. It's really, and he feels like he clearly doesn't. I mean, it's not even just us ripping on him. You listen to him, he does not sound nearly as prepared. He just sounds like he got so big the first 2 years, and CBS gave him such a big extension that he can just coast on it.
I mean, Olsen, Charles Davis, J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys all behind him or
There's
on
no
the
way
same
Romo
level.
gets another CBS contract. I don't know when his is up. There's no way he gets another.
No,
Because I don't think Nance likes him either.
They got to do something. I mean, I've seen people wanting to promote Watt and the Iron Eagle.
I would. I think they're better. But you can't bump Nance out of that spot.
But Nance is near retirement. I think all he wants to do is the Masters. He's already given up the March Madness. Like, does he just say, you know what, I'm good? Or do you go and poach Greg Olson from Fox and put him with Nance?
The problem CBS runs into is they're paying Nance and Romo like $40 million together. So you can't just use Nance for 4 games and then for 4 days a year at the Masters, which is really 2 days a year, and then Romo for nothing.
It's awful. I'm going to see when his contract runs out. You can't do it. And how good is Brady?
Brady's great now.
Brady's great.
Let's get rid of these Saturday games quick.
Yeah.
We have the first.
He signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah, they gave him a huge extension after his first 2 years.
I thought it was a 5-year deal.
Yeah, they gave him a huge extension.
Oh, so they're screwed.
Yeah, they gave him a massive
10 years,
extension.
180.
Yeah, they can't get rid of him. You have to at midway through that, they'll relegate him to like the 3rd or 4th team, and they'll do games with like Spiro Diaz or somebody, or Harlan, but they can't really get rid of him.
He's in the middle of it right now. He signed in 2020.
Yeah, not good. Bears Packers. What an unreal win for Chicago. Doing it again against Green Bay. And the rivalry's awesome. I mean, this was the best game of the weekend by far.
Best game of the weekend. Did you mind the handshake at the end of the game from Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur? And secondly, Ben Johnson saying F the Bears, F the Packers, F them in the locker room.
Yeah. And just the handshake all year long, the 3 handshakes that they've done this whole season, where they first, LaFleur quick shakes him in Green Bay at Lambeau after the Packers win. This is all stemming from that press conference that Johnson had, the introductory with Chicago. And then Johnson gets him back on the comeback win in Chicago, finishes the job against him in the playoffs. The quick shake. I don't know if you saw the aftermath of the quick shake. Johnson walks like 10 yards downfield and just immediately falls over, and there's like bears jumping on him.
Actually,
like, totally pumped about it. And then they end up having the locker room speech right after that.
That's pretty sick.
Imagine being a Bears fan this weekend, because we know as Jets and Giants fans the struggle.
No, I actually couldn't.
I could not imagine the feeling of you have the next McVay Shanahan. You just beat the Packers twice in a month on the most miraculous comeback victories possible. You have your franchise quarterback, and you're going into a 2nd-round home playoff game against a team that's very beatable in that environment.
It's incredible. The fans there, like, that crowd was unbelievable. I put that down in my notes here. Like, the crowd was unbelievable in that game. And, I was in a sports book, so it was just blaring through, but like you could tell the difference between, a regular playoff game and it just being loud in there and, an actual great crowd. Like, it was that great.
Yep.
I'm pumped for the Bears. I mean, these 2 men, Kevin, have completely saved this city. I mean, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams have completely saved a literal major U.S. city with how great Ben Johnson's been and what he's done for Caleb Williams this year. I mean, this roster, they're good defensively. Offensively, they have a nice offensive line, but they could probably use a couple upgrades. Like, they're nowhere near or how great they're going to actually get to be. And yet they're in the 2nd round of the postseason with a home playoff game and a winnable game in it. It is what they've done. They've done miracles on Chicago.
If we had this conversation last week when we went to the Islanders game, but where would Johnson rank on you're starting a franchise today, you get to pick your head coach. Where would Johnson rank for you today? Because I think for me, he's probably 3rd.
It's, McVay.
McVay's got to be one.
We're not going with the older guys.
You're not going with the older guys. But even age aside, which older guys do you want more than Ben Johnson right now?
Shanahan will be 2.
Shanahan would be 2, and then Johnson's my 3.
I think he is. I think I had Harbaugh as 3.
And I don't think that either Harbaugh would be in like the top 7 right now.
No,
that's how good this renaissance of coaching just got.
I would go Ben Johnson 3.
Because I think Johnson I'd rather have than Vrabel. I'd rather have him than DeMeco Ryans. I'd rather have him than, and these are great coaches, than Sean Payton. I'd rather have him right now than Sean McDermott, obviously. These are just the playoff guys left.
Yep.
But then even in that division, those coaches, LaFleur, O'Connell, Campbell, rather have them than all those guys. These are guys that have won playoff games.
Yep. You're right. He's 3. He's 3 because of also how important it is to have that big time offensive play caller.
Yep.
And that boy genius. I mean, he's certainly up there. LaFleur's up there too, but not as high as him.
You know what I'm thinking the other day about him too is a lot of times when these offensive coaches go and get jobs and they've never been a head coach before, they go out and they'll hire a coordinator like they know he's not gonna, like a Gary Kubiak type of guy. Like he's not gonna call plays, but he understands how to run a Super Bowl practice and a Super Bowl program. So he's gonna come in, he's gonna be on your sideline. He goes out and he hires this kid Declan Doyle, who's like 28 years old from Denver. I think he was the quarterback coach in Denver. And that's just Johnson saying, like, I'm the best offensive play caller in the league. Like, I don't need anybody else here. We're just going to get a bunch of young guys who are really innovative. And that's what they're doing. I think Bieniemy's on this staff, too. Am I right with that?
Is he?
I feel like he's the running back coach. Yeah. Running back coach for the Chicago Bears.
Daboll's getting interviewed by Tennessee. Just saw that.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
That's his first head coach. It's not really breaking. It was like two hours ago.
Well, my Twitter's been down since I woke it up. So
he's not going to get that job, but congrats to him for the interview.
Yeah, it's huge.
LaFleur on the other side of this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think a lot of times we talk about head coaches, we talk about how much of an advantage it is when they're, really good offensive minded guys that, are innovative and, you just, like, he calls the plays, I'm sure, right? He calls plays for them.
Yeah, he does. He calls every play for them.
Like, to get rid of somebody like that, it would be tough for me. I understand they've had their gaffes this year with the blown leads, but, I'm not getting rid of that guy. I can't get rid of that guy.
If I was LaFleur, I would be looking to get Mike McDaniel, to get Brian Daboll, to get somebody that can call plays for me. I don't think he's a bad play caller, but the blown leads tell me that he's too invested in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I need this guy to really put together, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to come out and just rebuild this whole staff. He already said they're ready for Hafley to leave. They have the replacement ready for Hafley to be gone. He said they have a good plan on that. And their offensive coordinator is Adam Stenovich, who is a legendary offensive line coach there, but he was going to leave or become the OC. That was the ultimatum he gave them, and they made him the OC. But he's not calling plays. He just got a pay raise, basically.
Yeah.
And you could really use somebody there that could take that off LaFleur's plate and maybe bring some new ideas to what you're doing.
Bring some new ideas and help with the game management. Like, he's not getting ripped for kicking the field goals when he did. McManus just got to make those.
Yeah, McManus has to make them. I think that LaFleur did enough to win this game. I know people don't want to hear that, and I know he had issues in the second half of that game. Don't get me wrong. There was some poor coaching, but the missed kicks, and at some point, defense and special teams has to make plays.
They also haven't run the ball in weeks, months.
No, they haven't.
They haven't ran the ball effectively in months. Josh Jacobs has done nothing.
No,
nothing.
He hasn't. He hasn't been healthy for most of the year, but he probably wasn't healthy again. I know he took a week off, but he probably wasn't healthy again this past weekend.
It's so frustrating watching them. Like when they can't move the football effectively, and Love plays incredibly well. He doesn't turn the ball over. He has 4 touchdowns, and it's like, what the hell? And I understand that from a Packers perspective. Like, our quarterback just had 4 touchdowns, no picks, and we lost the game.
Yep.
Like, what are you supposed to do? I get that. I'd be enraged as well.
But I do think the people who want LaFleur fired are wrong. I don't agree that he should be fired, because who are you bringing in that you think is better right now? Tell me the guaranteed plan to have a better coach in here. I don't think breaking the bank for Harbaugh because the ceiling's the same, but the ceiling's also 20 years older. And Harbaugh probably loses that game on Saturday. I've been saying this to everybody. He has more blown leads and worse blown leads than LaFleur does the last 5 years.
Right. The issues with Harbaugh are similar to the issues with LaFleur.
All right. I want to hit, because I want to do Harbaugh, who'd you rather now, but let's finish this weekend. Saturday, Rams, Panthers, and last note on the Packers too, though. Not winning a game without Micah Parsons is terrible. Going 0-5 or 0-6, whatever it ended up being, I think it was 0-5, without Parsons is awful. They were 9-3-1 when he got hurt. They finished the year 9-8-1 when you count the playoff game.
Yeah.
That can't happen. That's inexcusable. And they end up winning as many games this year, just to put it into context, as the Lions, who were ripped all year for how bad people thought they were, and the Vikings, who literally had the worst quarterback play in the NFL this year.
Well, I mean, they should get a little pass with the injury, though. I mean, yeah, you lost Jenkins.
You lost Parsons. You lost Jenkins. You lost Kraft. That's another reason why LaFleur shouldn't get fired. But they also, you didn't lose your quarterback. You didn't lose your key offensive playmakers outside of Kraft. You should not have lost every single game without
Watson was banged up in the middle of the year.
Still, though. Had him the last few weeks, and he had a few good weeks. Panthers, Rams, let's just nail it quick. The Rams end up getting this win. Canales doesn't punt early in the game. Didn't take the points during the game. A lot of fourth down stuff. Stafford was great. The throw to Parkinson at the end of the game was terrific. And Puka is unstoppable.
Sorry, I was muted. Incredible. Like, every play he makes. I said it before. I was thinking about it before I went to bed. That's how much I think of Puka. Before I go to bed at night, I'm thinking about Puka Nacua. He makes every play. And Stafford late in these games, even though they go down and he did turn the ball over, like late in these games, you do trust him to make the big play and make that clutch play and get them where they have to get to, which is winning a game. Like, this was sketchy. Like, this was way too sketchy. You mentioned it before, how you don't feel great about the Rams. I don't either. I certainly don't either right now as a guy that's picked them all year long, and I wouldn't pick them to get back to the Super Bowl. But, man, is it tough to not love these offensive playmakers and what they're able to do on offense, because they're exciting and they're explosive.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Carolina, I mean, good year. You end up 8-10 overall. You won your division, but a lot of questions for them. Stroud and Young are up for contracts this offseason, and they got 1 year left on the deal. I'm really curious to see if and how much they get paid.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Richardson, too, up for a contract extension.
What?
Anthony Richardson, too, up for a contract extension from that draft.
That's tough. Tough. How's his eye? Is his eye okay?
I think he's back.
I saw that Stroud's probably going to get paid.
I think Stroud probably gets one of those, like, 5 for 220 or 6 for 230 deals. And Young will probably get, like, the 4 for 180 first 2 years are guaranteed. Yeah,
that makes sense. They got to get, like, listen, he had a good, like, an up and down year, good year. But they have to get some real players in here. Now it's like, I think we're at the point where you say, okay, we think he could play. We think he's good. Now let's get some real players in here around him and see what he could really do. Because now this is the next step.
Yeah.
Do they have to pay him? They don't have to pay him this offseason. No, I probably would hold
No, he's not a free agent, but I don't think he's probably not going to play.
He's not going to play.
Just won your division. His agent's going to tell him, go get the extension.
I would like to see him play one more year before I gave him any kind of money.
And if I'm Carolina, I would pay him this year, because I don't think I'm finding a better option in the next 2 or 3 seasons. I plan on keeping Canales for the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want is Bryce Young. It'll be like a Daniel Jones extension. You get next year still on it, so you're going to get 3 years, $40 million a year for the 2 after that guaranteed, and another 2 if the team wants to keep him. Totals out at $180 million plus the 50-year option. But I don't want to put guys around him and then have to pay him $60 million next year when the salary cap goes up again.
Makes sense.
I just get it out of the way now because I think for this era of Panthers football, it's probably the most, I don't know how to say it. I'm missing the word here, but it's probably the most, safe way of going about it. Let's hit Who'd You Rather real quick. We got 3 of them.
We're long today.
We're long today. We'll wrap up in a minute. Jalen Hurts, who'd you rather? You ready?
Ready.
All right. Jalen Hurts, who'd you rather? First up, Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
CJ Stroud.
Jalen Hurts.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, and I love Sam. I'd definitely rather have Hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
Darnold has a better arm. He might not be as mobile, but he's still sneaky mobile.
All right.
He's throwing the ball down the field better. Purdy. Oh, easy. I love
Baker
Purdy.
Mayfield. It's not even close. It's not even close. With the utmost respect, it's not even close.
All right, it hurts.
Jaden Daniels.
I'm out. I'm kind of out on Daniels.
Okay, so you're going to go Hurts.
No, I'm going to go Daniels.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Justin Herbert.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I'll go Herbert still.
And I'm going to give you one special one here for you. If we're talking about who you'd rather have next year, Jackson Dart.
Only because of the year 2 thing, I'll go Hurts. If it wasn't year 2,
only because of the year 2 thing.
If it wasn't, the sophomore slump, I would go. Dart.
I also just do want to throw out there that statistically, Hurts low-key had the best season of his career this year.
Read it off.
Of his career, most passing touchdowns, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's passing. And then push touchdowns if you want to throw them in. I'm trying to pull them up now. His rushing. So he ends the year with 33 touchdowns and I'm trying to get fumbles lost, but 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I have 8 fumbles, but I don't know how many he lost.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm not disagreeing with the fact that it looked terrible.
It was never like, oh, this team is a freaking machine.
No, it never felt that way.
Like that.
But he did have maybe the best passing year of his career, and he had yards wise. Trying to total him up right now in my head. He had 3,200 passing yards, and
the best year of his career passing wise has to be the 2022 year.
Yeah, I would agree. But he ends this year with 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns, and probably around 10 turnovers. That's a pretty good year on the stats. But too many slow games that were just duds.
That's fine.
All right.
It's okay.
Justin Herbert, who you also we do have to pair in that there's a hate bias in here. I'm not saying you're wrong on most of these, but there is an obvious hate bias.
But the one issue that I think I have is that I defended him middle of this year. Beginning of this year,
yeah.
I was like, all right, guys, we're getting to a point where this is ridiculous. He's not actually this bad. I did defend him.
Yeah.
And now I'm out on him again.
All right. Herbert, who'd you rather? Jordan Love.
I got to go Jordan Love.
Stafford.
May.
The only reason those two are in there is because I'm just going off Herbert's last 2 regular seasons, which are very comparable. Lamar. Dak.
I'm going Dak.
I would too. Trevor Lawrence.
Herbert.
CJ Stroud.
Herbert.
Caleb Williams.
I'm going Caleb.
I would too. Jared Goff.
I go Herbert.
Darnold.
That's a good one. I'll go Herbert slightly.
Purdy.
The only thing I'm thinking about right now is size.
This is how I would put it. Shanahan would trade Purdy for Herbert.
Yeah.
If that was on the table, 1-for-1.
I would. I go Herbert.
Jaden Daniels.
Herbert.
And then we already did Hurts. So
yeah.
Won't do Hurts again. You said Herbert.
You want to go Dart here?
No.
Okay. Herbert or Dart.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Okay.
Not even asking it.
Okay. Herbert.
John Harbaugh, who'd you rather? Your next head coach.
My next head coach, baby. Come on.
First up, Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel.
Mike McCarthy.
Harbaugh.
Mike Tomlin.
I had that discussion with my dad last night. It's strictly the clock management.
Yeah, and that's fair. Even
That's
though Harbaugh's had some blunders, but not nearly as much.
That's literally the only difference.
Mike Tomlin.
I might go Harbaugh.
Okay. D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico's young.
And he's probably better.
D'Amico.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, come on.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, Payton.
Mike McDonald.
McDonald.
Matt LaFleur.
I said this to you yesterday.
Yep.
If it's even, I think I'm going LaFleur because of the offense.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, obviously.
Kevin O'Connell.
I'm a big O'Connell guy. I can't.
You're a big O'Connell guy
now.
And again, if both were available and you can have both for only the next 5 years, you would probably take O'Connell.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's O'Connell.
Dan Campbell.
Oh, Harbaugh, not even close.
Nick Sirianni.
Harbaugh, not even close.
All right.
Ask me him or Jim.
I did have that one. Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh.
Jim. I'm a big Jim guy. I love Jim. He wins everywhere. He's one of the best coaches in the world. He wins everywhere. Everywhere. I love them. I love the family. Love the dad.
What's funny is I think they are exactly the same. Like, I don't even think that if you just said to me, you could have John or Jim Harbaugh for the next 5 years, I'd say I don't really care. Just have one of them show up. Just have one show up. They have the same coaching staff. They have everything's the same. Just have one come and I'll be cool with it.
Glenn or Harbaugh? That's the question.
Glenn. That's why I didn't put him on this. I didn't put Glenn. I didn't put Andy Reid. I didn't put McVay. Those guys obviously didn't get on the list.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, that's a wrap. Wildcard weekend recap. Good ep. We'll be back later in the week to do some division round predictions and probably some head coach news because I think we'll probably get one or two dominoes to drop. Yep. Hopefully some baseball news this week too for us. But until then, we'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your week and congrats to all of the wildcard winners from this weekend.